All right, this is an intro. We're watching more Star Trek Picard. Go. So
We
Gyrinx, to
introduced as
answer,
7 of 9.
yes, 7 of 9, the Ex-Borg Fenris Ranger from the Delta Quadrant. Gyrinx, to answer your question, how did I feel when I got actually diagnosed with autism? Fine. It's, I already knew, so it wasn't very
Yeah,
dramatic.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, how about that weather? How's your guys' autism? I don't know.
Uh,
It really
I
depends
occasionally
on.
get asked if I'm on the spectrum, but I don't think I am.
Okay.
It
There
would
is
kind of have
a side
to
which
get in
is
line behind
fantastic,
like my
right?
other issues if I did. So
The Embrace Autism site is UK-based, but the tests are the tests.
Yep.
It has a description of a lot of the major tests, analyze it, and say what the results been, what they think about the tests. It's great.
Neat. Oh, today's episodes, that's important. Absolute Candor
Yes.
with Elnor, Stardust City
Yay,
Rag
Elmo.
with 7 of 9, and the Impossible Box with Romulans.
Yep. Honestly, Eldor is probably my favorite of the characters in Picard. Certainly the new characters.
it's pretty cool.
But why is Sword? Have they not heard of guns in their order?
Apparently not.
I feel like you should get up to speed with modern technology.
I mean, he's effective.
I guess. So I didn't have anything to say after that. I was trying to delay time for me to
One
think of something.
positive, I went to see you. Just the tone of voice with which you said so reminded me of the intro to that sea shanty.
Which shanty?
The last sea shanty, I think it's called.
I know the ones from Star Trek. Is it one of those?
No, it's new one. It was talking about TikTok last year or something like that.
Okay. You know what? You know what had a bigger emotional impact on me than medically than an autism diagnosis? I suspect that I might be allergic to something in my taco ingredients.
Oh,
That might be devastating. Or I'd need to try
How
like
allergic
a
though?
different seasoning blend. Something's not right.
Is it just an inconvenience or is it?
Well, I didn't I didn't die and I didn't go to the hospital. I just felt awful for the rest of the day.
Hmm.
But I don't want to be allergic to I don't. I'm gonna have to figure out which ingredient was the problem. There's so many. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on to Star Trek. Oh, damn. Can I just? I would love a tricorder scan. That'd be
yeah,
great.
that'd be handy.
Just tell me everything that's wrong. Get hypo, not be allergic to anything immediately.
A hyper spray would be great because it's a needleless syringe.
Mm.
We have nasal sprays. They're kind of like hypos.
Yeah.
Limited in application, but we have them.
The hyperspray can actually be multiple use in the real world because unlike with a needle where you have to replace the needle for several reasons, the hyperspray doesn't actually enter your skin. It's a gas that pushes into your skin.
How does that
Oh.
work? The skin is very
I'm
much supposed
fairly
to
sure
prevent
that's
that.
not I'm fairly sure it's a high pressure gas or something which pushes into your skin if I remember rightly on the supposed logic behind it in show.
That sounds worse, actually. That sounds worse than a needle.
It's true.
All right.
Hello,
Star
sir.
Trek in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blur. Once again, this is the Amazon version. So the intro might be a few seconds, like 2 seconds off, if you're on CBS. Previously on Star Trek Picard. I really wish we didn't have these. I say this every single time for all of these new shows. We don't need this.
Yeah.
You can't skip intro either. Yes, thank you for the summary.
So from
Yeah.
StarTrek.com, 10 years ago, they put an article on hyperspace that says that it's a liquid meditation 3 is done by shooting them at very high pressure through a very small hole.
So it's a water saw. The destroyer has come. The end is near. Yes, kill her. Ooh, that one of those ships on the right looks kind of like those time pods from TNG.
We've
Okay,
got
now
those sort of tarot cards things again.
I don't think I like these Romulans.
Yeah,
They lack the shoulder pads. It doesn't look right.
that's true. They are the people with the shoulder pad.
Not a single person here looks like a couch.
Yeah. Properly upholstered.
I assume that's baby Elnor running through the street.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I know there's outtakes of these scenes. I don't really remember the details. I know Patrick Stewart doesn't really know how to say Jolan True in one of them. A sword. Your first knife? Oh, that's okay. Because they're loud and obnoxious and needy. That's why. He just wants to sit in his office in the quiet and drink Earl Grey.
Yep.
And read his reports.
Also disobedient.
How dare they? Maybe we should adopt maturation chambers. Well, hang on. Patrick's the one who made the promise. Elnor's not doing nothing. Don't blame the
Yeah,
kid.
true. I think it was more about the holding someone to a
It's
promise
okay if
idea.
people lie to you, Elnor. You can't get mad at them for lying.
No, I don't think it was bad about lying as they are about absolute candor. It's more about things come up. You can't really deal with that.
What is that in the box? Outside of Star Trek. I don't think that was food. I think that was styrofoam.
Rapier fencing.
Let's go along with the Three Musketeers. Of course, three. Oh, does that count as a TNG reference? The Three Musketeers with Lieutenant Broccoli. I'm gonna count it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tiny Frakes. I assume about to get Mars news. Yeah. This is George W. Bush vibes. Soon. Did Patrick,
Must have
what
been
did we
reading My
just
Pet
say?
Targ.
Targ?
Just trying to think of a Star Trek animal. Reference goat.
I know 2009 established that you could theoretically transport people whilst moving. But it's interesting
But
that
why
they
was
actively
he?
had Picard still move there. Yeah.
What's the point? Where are you going, Patrick? Maybe that way he'll still be walking when he comes off the transporter pad and he just keeps going.
Yeah.
It's a little silly. Special guest star Jerry Ryan. Wow, way to spoil it, TV show.
Yeah, I do dislike when they do that.
I feel like if we put credits at the end of shows, it would solve many problems.
Unfortunately,
Spoilers.
then they're less visible to people.
Does anybody read this who doesn't already care?
I mean, especially the executive producer one.
Screw them. If someone cares, they can read the credits at the end. Executive
Oh, it's
producer
sort of
Patrick
a,
Stewart.
Executive producer is kind of a meaningless credit anyway.
yeah.
Like someone is the showrunner, but you won't really know from
Okay. So
like
far
the
we're on 4
17
executive
names that get
producers. Five.
showed up there.
5 executive producers.
And Jasmine does a lot, but in terms of any specific show, he doesn't do much in terms of the actual production. He's a liaison more than he is
Right.
working on the show. Great, directed
Oh.
this one.
Or we could do the TNG thing where they have the credits over the actual show.
Mm.
Or at least, a lot of the important ones. The ones that change from episode to episode.
Right.
Like how she's literally just in normal clothes.
In the future, people still love polyester. Yeah, this is what space travel would be like for them. You just sit there and wait for like 3 days to get to the next star system.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of hard to imagine now. Like I guess people do cruises, but then getting there isn't the point.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing on this ship. Well, there's a holodeck, actually. Oh. Okay, he only has one program.
It,
Kicked you out because you kept bothering him? Girardi, stop it.
it,
Don't be such an edgelord, dude. Just go read Lord of the Rings or something. Relax. Girardi, he didn't want to talk about it. He was trying to make you go away. He was reading silently to himself. Leave him alone. So rude.
Oh, he's on his.
Or is he?
Yeah,
No.
that's what I said. He's not his. Ah, because he created it.
But if oh, holoscans. I was about to wonder, like, how could Picard possibly have described it in sufficient detail verbally to recreate it like this? Seems like a brain scan. Nope, holoscan. It's a nice sweater, though. Very hospitable sweater. Can you not turn it off? Can you not customize your installation?
Yeah. They should not make it himself. Like that would just be weird.
Yeah, kind of. Yes, definitely.
Isn't that where Kid lives?
Yes.
Okay. I say kid, he's like 35. No, apparently we're hosting a party now, Girardi. Maybe it has something to do with... They have a statue of him. Oh, Vashti's the Elnor planet, right?
Yeah.
Fenris Ranger. They have something better than Resources Rios. They have a main character. They have plot.
Well, sadly, she's not a main character this season.
She still has a lot to do here.
She does.
14 years ago, Picard. But if, but then why wouldn't the Tal Shiar just kill them? There's only like a dozen of them anyway. And the Tal Shiar have guns. Oh, now here's another. I think there's two outtakes in this scene, but this is the one I remember, where he just forgets his line.
Hmm.
You remember what we used to say back then? No. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You remembered your line this time. Good job, Patrick.
uh, Yeah, it seems like to me like the problem with absolute candor is you just end up like training yourself not to feel or think things that you don't want to. Like,
They're the kind of people who describe themselves as brutally honest. It's like, no, I'm.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. Your hairdo is hideous. You're the one who put it on.
right.
Oh, she's looking extra green in this hologram.
Mhm.
I would expect Romans more generally to look more green than they do because of the blood.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm pretty pink.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, that seems a little excessive. I was thinking maybe just they had cannons or something. No, this is standard for the Romulans, I guess. Cash in my Federation? Are we in the Federation? Who? What's the deal here?
Um, it's not Federation protected for sure.
I do appreciate that they changed the set from the flashback, so it's a little more built up and there's a lot more
What are you
vegetation
guys
around.
gonna watch when you're done with Picard?
Lower Decks after Picard. Lower Decks. It's a good show.
Yeah, very much.
Wake me up when Lower Decks is on.
That'll be a few weeks.
Because there's 30 total episodes, so there's 8 streams after today. So that'll be in about 2 months. Wow, she looks exactly the same. Hasn't aged at all in 14 years.
I mean, she is Romulan, which is the same as Vulcan, so they live very long.
Bloody space elves. Daddy? No, okay. Oh yeah, Rhonda had a bit of an aneurysm because the destroyer.
Yep.
Soji, I don't think she would want you here looking over her. She hates you. Leave her alone.
That's kind of how being looked at works.
Soji, I thought you were smart.
Oh, she's not emotionally smart.
Can't even tell she's being manipulated by a Romulan. Put it together. He is telling the truth, though. He's not Tal Shiar. This is the first
Yeah.
thing he didn't lie about.
Have some flowers here for a John Luck Pickard.
Well, he's not here. This is Soji hour.
Lame.
She
Soji?
is the next generation.
Ba-da-da-ba-da-da. Isn't that the Korean liquor, soji, or is it soju? I'm not sure.
I don't
I was
know.
just there, and we were gonna
You
do
were just visiting liquor.
Hello.
soji bombs. Soju bombs. Soji is a type of bomb. So
2396. So 23. What? Okay, she shipped out 3 years ago. Except she didn't.
Yeah.
what's the
Would you
what's
care
the
to finish
best
the question?
version of Deep Space Nine?
What? What do you mean? There's only one version. What are you talking about?
Well, there's Terok Nor, then there's Deep Space Nine, but then there's Empok Nor, and then there's the mirror Terok Nor.
Empok Nor is weird. Empok Nor had the drugged murder Cardassians, and then it had a cult.
In
So-
a cult, a death cult, a
We don't
power
go to
death cult.
We don't go to Empok Nor.
What else was it used for? It was used for the prisoner exchange,
Yep. With Iggy Pop.
and the Magnificent Ferengi. Which actually, I would love to see a Star Trek spin-off series that focus on a non-Starfleet crew, a non-Federation crew, like
Like Section 31.
like a Klingon crew.
There's no record that she was a passenger on the ship.
Soji, a guy does one yodel in his socks and you forget about all the manipulation and lying he's been doing? Come on. There you go. Thank you.
Oh. So early this morning, around 10 after 12, I guess that's not very early this morning, is it?
What's the star date?
It was early for me. I heard what I thought was some gunshots coming from west of my house.
It's probably fine.
And I was like, yeah, probably fine. I was like, well, I don't hear sirens, so we're probably okay. There is a shooting range not too far from where I live, and you can occasionally hear them, but it sounded way closer.
That's a TOS era bird of prey. What is this?
Yep, it's very old.
How much of a threat could they
TOS
possibly be?
It's a cricket. Hey, look, those like colony destroying torpedoes still destroy colonies hundreds of years later. Like what?
Their colony destroying torpedoes can't even penetrate our navigation shields. Don't they know that?
I mean, photon torpedoes are still photon torpedoes. Like, you know, thermonuclear bombs, like a 100 megaton thermonuclear bomb from the 50s is still a 100 megaton thermonuclear bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that we've gotten better at it. We've gotten smaller and more
But
sophisticated,
we don't
more
have shields.
efficient. But 100 megaton is 100 megaton.
We don't have shields in real life. Their shields keep
No,
getting
you're right.
better.
It's true. But it like if you have a torpedo that destroys a colony, like how many of those can shields withstand? Even if the shields got like
4.
5 times better. Yeah, well, you know.
The original Enterprise took one.
Did it?
Yeah, it got hit.
They forgot to give me a fork.
Did you not have your own forks? Just get a fork.
I just prefer to use the plastic fork.
Oh, hey again.
and throw
So
it in the
Picard
trash.
S1 then?
Yes, quite.
It is very Picardy.
It's living up to its name. There is, in fact, Picard here.
Yep.
Well, of a sorts.
Picard will be here until the end of the season.
The Picard.
A Picard?
Well, now he's the Picard because the rest of the Picards died in a fire.
Yeah.
I love it. What if Picard was the first person through the wormhole?
But Cisco was always the first person through the wormhole, the Cisco.
Good point. Even when he wasn't, he was,
Correct.
right? Remember? Non-linear time. First, last. Before.
Are you on a green screen, Patrick? Why is there some, like, weird edge stuff around your nose? Why would this be a
Before.
green screen, though? This is a totally normal set. Maybe it was just a trick of the light. There's another blooper in this scene. I think they just break up laughing after they say Data died. Several orange cats named Spot, in fact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They spontaneously changed gender.
And he never noticed. I am convinced Geordi was replacing them.
Y'all should read the recent Star Trek and Star Trek Defiant comics that have been made the last couple years. It focuses on D.A.
Would it-
Cisco this time and is going through trippy stuff.
I was never into written media about shows that I like. It feels
So Data was
Weird.
petting the cats too hard and just killing them by accident. He's like, oh, he's taking a nap. He's been taking a nap for days. I don't know. He's so lazy. That Spot's so lazy. And Jordy's like, oh god.
Data has
Get her
never
in
read
the
of
room.
Mice and Men.
So Jordy replaces it. I gotta keep cloning his damn cat. You left me on my own. Old man.
You lost one little
sword
fleet and you
sh-
abandoned your kind of kid.
Is your sword sharp, Elron? She's sharp enough for you, old man. She's a sword that did the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs.
At some point, that clone will look like the Asgard from Stargate.
Did you call that Romulan Elrond?
What is his name? I forgot.
It's not Elrond, for sure. Elnor. Elnor.
Elnor, whatever. You know why I would be thinking that. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
Picard just took a visit to this planet to
Why
go and
is
visit
it-
Galadriel.
Why is it in English?
Shut up. That's why.
Because it's, yes, but also because it's for the humans, presumably.
What humans?
If you
That's the
can
whole
read
point.
this sign, you're not allowed in.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know he's 30 seconds away from death.
And excuse me, it wasn't in
that's-
English. It was in Federation. That guy looks like Sarek. It's in Federation standard.
Elrond and Elna, both looking
basic.
like elves. One actually an elf.
All right, I'll say this again. I'm going to say this on stream. Please don't copy me. Vulcans, space elves. Romulans, space dark elves. Klingons, space orcs. Ferengi, space goblins. Tellarites, space dwarves. Borg, space undead. Humans, I mean, space humans, obviously. What else?
I've seen this meme before.
Yes.
What else is there?
Andorians.
Did you mention Ferengi?
Andorians, I don't know what Andorians would line up with. Is there like ice people or something? I'm not sure. Trolls? Trolls
Space
maybe?
Gundor is the Federation.
But not like trolls. But not like trolls Tolkien
Not like Trolls
like
the movie.
trolls like World of Warcraft trolls, but I don't even know what they are considered.
And Cardassians are the one
And-
T, of course.
Yeah, lizard people. I was gonna say Gorn, but sure.
Or Gorn.
Bo- Cardassians are also
Did
lizard
you get to
people.
Ferengi? As
Goblins
probably
are the
goblins?
Orions.
Yeah, I said
Oh.
said Ferengi are goblins.
Well,
I mean,
Orion's-
Ferengi fit the archetype of
Yeah.
goblin way better
Yeah.
than
But
Orions.
D&D
Orions, what would they
goblins
be?
aren't mercantile goblins.
Mhm.
I guess the goblin. I guess
D&D
The,
goblins
like-
are just the swarmy murder kind.
Orions fit the World of Warcraft trolls better actually than Andorians.
No, a promise is a prison. Don't be his jailer. Why do you guys
That's
have
a
swords?
literal rapier.
All right, Picard, the last time we saw you fencing was... Oh, it was with Hugh, actually. The episode with Hugh. He was fencing Guinan. No, Patrick, don't try to fight.
30
Just
years
leave.
ago. He doesn't know. The guy doesn't know that you're a fencing expert. Just kill him. Choose life.
Elnor, we can just beam out. You don't have to stab a guy.
And here comes Space Legolas.
Well, we didn't stab him. That's definitely murder.
I mean, technically, it was in self. Well, it is still murder legally, but it's in self-defense of Picard.
You know, Elnor, if you had a phaser, you could have stunned him. Picard, you're making it all about yourself. There are 3 people dead on the ground. One's missing a head. You looking at the corpse right now?
You're talking to Elnor, not to them.
Yes, exactly. Disruptor wins.
I'm glad they got rid of the whole padded uniform
No,
and bob
You're
haircut
wrong.
look for
Strictly
all Romulans.
incorrect. We need the padded uniforms back. We need the upholstery.
The
It is
shoulder
critical
pads.
to their image.
They just don't. They don't feel like Romulans without them. Yeah.
Vulcans
murder,
can be
please.
more chill.
Hey guys.
Hello.
You know, the Federation and the Romulans really have a lot in common. Both of them dress like couches. The Federation are just like from the 80s. No, wait, they're both from the 80s. Wait, hang on. The Federation dresses like a chair on a bus. The Federation dressed like a recliner in a
LOL.
boomer's
Well,
home.
if you want that back, feel free to do so in a modern way. That straight up looked like they just made suits from padding materials themselves and painted them like couches.
Yes, exactly. It was perfect.
Or like a
That's
coach,
what we're
back.
asking for.
So
I want the couch.
So
there's like some coach buses with like a little bit of leather.
No, that's his sister.
LOL.
God, their relationship is so weird.
It is.
It's a totally normal brother-sister relationship.
Not in my
He's meant
experience.
to be kind of. He's meant to be kind of a
Anatomically
hard
correct.
guy. So you know, I mean, if he's cute, like his eyelashes are batting all the time. It's kind of annoying.
Your sister never woke you up that way?
She would get kicked, I think.
Yuck.
Plays PH intro theme.
No.
Although, like I said, I think cousins are historically cousins were okay. So I try not to judge people for like cousin. The word is cousin cest.
I don't think that's correct, but I also don't want to explore the topic. Look, they're planning a murder. Yes, genocide the robots. Excuse me, android. Robot, you can't call them robots. That's mean. Genocide the androids. Look, I can excuse the genocide, but I draw the line at calling them robots. It's very rude.
I wanted to go to the taco truck and get a burrito with birria, but they weren't parked in their normal spot.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe they just don't operate on Sunday.
Well, next time you find
Who was the
them-
brilliant corn-addicted genius writer that made the characters act this way?
next time you find the taco truck, plant a tracker on it.
You know, I'm Mm,
Narek, just kill her. She's clearly unstable. And she's got a knife.
I mean, all of them are unstable.
you and your what one more week?
His android
the-
lady.
Seed he planted in her. Well, I suppose literally and figuratively.
Wait, she's an android?
No, not the sister there.
Oh, we don't know yet.
The both of them define unstable perfectly here. She's unstable, but he is too.
Aelnor, maybe you should try stabbing the bird of prey with your sword.
They kind of have a
Worthless.
toxic relationship. Well,
Rios my homes.
I'm just picturing what this looks like without all the CG and the holograms. Dude's gotta look crazy. It's like in TNG when people are just like tapping on the
If there's one person
the
I miss from
plywood consoles, at
S3,
least there's
it
something
was
there.
Rios.
Yeah, Rios
just
is a
tapping
fun
the air.
character as well.
can I say I love the TOS era Romulan Warbird?
It's a bird of prey, but yes, or a cricket.
Because it's such a dinosaur for our age. It's like seeing a Civil War destroyer.
Civil War ironclad.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, is that an Ex-Borg Fenris Ranger
And was
from the Delta
reused in
Quadrant?
Strange New Worlds. It's such a lovely model they
So-
made.
It was also reused
Yeah.
in Enterprise for the episode Minefield.
Well, but not this particular model.
It was an extremely similar model. It was the same vibe.
It's
Well, I
basically-
mean, it wasn't this exact CG model, but I think this
Well,
exact
no.
CG model was reused for Strange New Worlds.
Let me rephrase. This class of Romulan ship was used in Enterprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not literally the
Or
same
something-
CG model from 2002.
So the predecessor probably, because Enterprise is what, like 100
No,
years
that was a
before
modified similar design, but they made the
TOS.
model too futuristic.
Yeah. that's
Well, I
correct.
think they were trying to like retcon. Anyway, locations.
Look, it looked good. We all liked it at the time. Enough to remember it, you know.
I didn't like it at the time because I hadn't seen it yet.
No, I'm saying like you even remembered. Like it was memorable enough from that episode,
Hey,
which I remember
Jerry.
too.
Bye, Jerry.
Great,
Oh man.
great entrance.
All right, next episode is Stardust City Rag.
Yeah, they really
Oh,
did
God.
spoil it with the credits on that one.
Then they're-
She appears
they
right at
couldn't
the end
put
of the
it-
episode.
Yeah, I've seen it done that. They did that on
Was
Buffy
in.
once with Anthony Stewart Head, returning at the very end of the episode.
Oh, I
they
hate this
didn't
episode.
give him the special guest star credit in the opening. It's just he shows up in an episode and then it says special guest star. Like, because of course you
Yeah.
could do that. Like, probably had to be negotiated with his agent, but
Yeah. So Stardust City Rag, I'm at least mildly positive on Picard in general. I'm not really a fan of this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, it's
is a weaker
certainly an
one.
interesting one.
Patrick
Did we
Stewart's French accent is kind of painful.
Yeah,
Five,
it is painful.
But the
three,
lady who owns the
2,
club is seriously
1,
hot and a dead
play.
ringer for a younger Deanna Troy.
I think, like the heist, like what was it, Inglorious Bastards, like the German. It was the subject of the thing of how bad the German was.
The German. He got
Um,
he
there's a
got
lot of
something he couldn't
Germans.
take off at the end of the movie.
I'm saying like you're a spy. You're supposed to mimic the language, but you do a bad job.
You're talking about the guy with the 3 fingers? The Brit?
No, he's talking about
Michael
Look at
Fassbender.
her
talking
and
about-
tell me you don't see a young Diana.
Michael Fassbender.
He was in Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah, the British guy. The British
that's the
spy.
British guy that spoke German, but we're talking about the German in
Right, we're talking about the French guy who can't speak French.
You can't just say the German when talking about a movie that's set in Germany. That doesn't help.
Enno the chick,
Sorry, and
who
The
is going to
German-
be the club
language.
owner in this episode.
Hans Landa is Christopher Waltz,
Ah, Christoph Waltz,
who
yes.
is the quote unquote the German.
Dr. King
No,
Schultz.
I meant the language German, like your proficiency in German.
Beam him in. You can't say that. It's beam her up. Jeez, Picard. It's like he's never even watched the show.
I gotta say, we take two beloved characters and make them really good friends,
Hypatia system.
and they're both Ex-Borg, which is like
I did,
an-
yeah, I did like
Yeah.
them exploring that. They have that shared history. Although, has Picard actually met 7 of 9 before this?
No,
I don't think so.
Not that
I
we've
don't know why
seen
he would have
directly.
recognized her.
viewer
seems a
discretion.
bit
He
weird.
knows Admiral Janeway very well.
I assume
Yes. Oh, well.
he would recognize 7 of 9 just because
OHF has a
she's
happy
sort of
ending.
Oh God, this scene.
famous. She's
Yeah.
the only Borg that's been recovered other than himself.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
And
That
He
might
knows
make her
Admiral Janeway.
recognizable
Right.
enough. Jesus Christ, why?
Because
Icheb.
the original Icheb actor.
No. That explains
Okay,
him
well,
writing
it's
him
been
out.
years
That doesn't
since
explain
Voyager
this
returned
scene.
at this point.
Because it was an effigy for the guy that they wanted to
No, they
torture in
didn't-
real life.
I don't buy that.
No, I don't think I don't buy that either. It's because it's to make the show darker and edgier. So it's the same reason they kill off so many other people.
Okay, but can I just
It's the
nominate
dark
the-
show.
So obviously, as a former Borg himself, Picard would eventually meet with her soon after her return to Earth.
LeMayo 7, I got all my implants
no,
out.
I
What's
think-
your problem?
Yeah, LeMayo. All right. So I'm gonna make a show that's so dark. Not only do we kill off characters in the show, but we kill off audience of the show.
Okay, so I think the makeup person should get an Emmy because
Oh, but not great for weightings.
the scab over his eye is so realistic. You don't forget the gore.
At least he got to join Starfleet. He's in his red command
He
uniform.
could totally. You could get him to a sick bay, and he's.
Oh
look,
yeah,
this-
Icheb.
They could
No.
totally fix him. It's the
Well,
25th century. The
Yeah.
assisted.
Yeah,
mercy killing
yeah.
is not the only option there. 7.
Hang on. So he just lost his cortical node, and we established in Voyager. Wait, no, he didn't have a cortical node.
He doesn't have one. No.
I don't know. Maybe they cut out something that can't be replicated.
But they have a whole thing of Borg to harvest from. They have a whole Borg cube. They could just be like, yes, we need some spare parts, please. We'd like to order one spare Borg.
oh, Bajazel.
Okay, so I'm not.
Just find one of the Borg.
I'm less seeing Deanna
Yes.
here. I'm more seeing the. I don't know her name. Oh God, who is it? From Parks and Recreation, the really
7
annoying
murdered
lady
Icheb. That's
who has
so
never
much
done
fucked
anything
up.
wrong in her life. I don't know her name.
Also looks a bit like from Firefly. What's her name?
From Firefly.
Marina Baccarin.
Oh hey, Maddox, Bruce, Commander,
Oh,
Associate
man.
Chair of Robotics, Daystrom Technological Institute.
I just finished season 1. I can't wait to start season 2.
She makes a Dabo girl look overdressed.
Oh, remember that one Dabo girl that was just wearing like a completely see-through bodysuit with like a
And
floral
look at her.
imprint hiding
She looks
key
like
areas?
Diana Troy.
It wasn't see-through. It was
Impala.
just the same
It was
color as her
Impala.
skin.
I don't know about that, Ryan. I don't know. I think it was see-through because who's gonna tell on 320p?
I could tell.
She looks like TIY.
Impala. Remember when Quark blackmailed Cisco to pay for Impala's clothing?
Yes. Start with replacing my clothes and Impella's
It
clothes.
wasn't blackmail.
It was
a
definitely.
bribe, I guess, technically. And my loss of business, which I value at no less than 5 bars of latinum.
It's fair play for Quark. Cisco has blackmailed
And
him
I-
at least twice.
and I am having some type of import issue with the. I have a delivery and there's some type of thing about paperwork. I'll handle it. Good. Anything else? No. I think we can call it a bribe. And thanks
his
for
first moment
restoring
of
my
real
faith
doubt.
in Rule 84 of the Rules of Acquisition. Every man has their price.
Okay, look. But Jaisal,
Seriously,
murdering
no
your
one else going to
customers-
acknowledge how similar she looks to a young Troy here?
I mean, kinda.
Yeah.
But murdering your customers is not good for business.
Unless your business is murder.
You need to maintain a solid reputation for discretion. You can't just...
Well, that's why she killed him here. Or Quadrant killed him.
Oh, Mona Lisa. That was her name in Parks and Rec. That's who I think she looks like.
This is so uplifting. This music is so, like...
It's nice and...
No, true. But when I saw the actress, I was thinking someone needs to hire her ASAP for a TNG era reboot.
Hey,
Need more TNG.
Okay,
era
who would we
stuff.
cast?
there's
Who
something-
would
there's a
we
whole rule about
cast?
these peppy theme songs. It's like the dark shows get the peppier ones. It's Enterprise Season 3.
The rockabilly.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would we cast? Who would we cast in a reboot? TNG reboot.
Nobody. Don't make it. Stop it.
Yeah.
We can have a different TV show. It doesn't need to be TNG again. Why does everybody want TNG again? We already had TNG.
Tom Holland as Wesley Crusher.
I mean, yeah.
Do it.
Don't need
Chris Pratt as
TNG
Captain
again.
Picard.
Oh god.
Chris Pratt. No.
I don't need a reboot.
Who would we have? I'm functional.
She's half robot.
Bourbon. She's not half robot.
If Pete
Well, she's
Postwaith
been
was
there
still
for-
around,
for
I'd cast him
most
as
of her life.
Picard.
Actually,
He would have been
half
good.
now.
Yeah.
Positronic. What's his name? The Vedic Barile. Positronic Barile was half robot.
You know, Positronic
709
Barile, that
is
was really
all
the same
cyborg,
experiment
baby.
that Data and Lore were trying to do on Geordi.
I know. I think we made that point last week.
Bashir was cool with it, though. Kinda.
Well, it was to save. It was. It was a long shot. Like it
Tough
was
time on Fenris. It looks like your Rangers are doing a terrible job,
Is this
Seven.
the scene they do the Voyager theme?
I don't know. I can't hear anything when we're watching this because people are talking. That's what the subtitles are for.
We be too loud. Subtle Voyager theme in background.
And
I
execution.
find it funny that despite Berman's best efforts, the Seven is hotter here than she was in Voyager. Like, a stupid skin tight catsuit didn't actually help.
I don't know. The silver and the blue one I liked. The brown one wasn't so great.
She just has a nice sweater and a nice
actually,
jacket. It's fine.
yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
I've
No, it
literally
doesn't
dumped
look
the memory
weird.
of S1 and S2 of
definitely
Picard, and
improvement.
S3 IS, what Picard S1 should have been.
Did not like that sentence structure. That is a really
alright,
nice
so
sweater.
when they
though.
had
That's
her-
a 10
when-
out of 10 sweater.
When they had her in a Starfleet uniform for the episode with the time puckery,
Could you be more specific?
that was pretty good. The one
Yes,
where
I
they
mean,
kept
Starfleet
pulling her out
This
of.
uniform
is Star
fine.
Trek
I just-
Voyager. we're
it's-
talking
Yeah, I just
Yeah, it's true.
like Voyager 7 was hot in the way that, like, if you're like 14. Like, it's very
Well,
Yeah.
good news. guess how old I was when that was on TV.
I mean, sure.
37.
Yeah. 104. I'm actually timeless. I am ancient in the extreme.
You know,
You
I
don't
wanna
smoke
defend
on
the
a
HF
starship.
thing.
It's gonna linger forever. You can't exchange air with the outside. Stop it.
I mean, you could just take apart the C from the O2, and you'd be all right.
We have carbon dioxide scrubbers. It traps the carbon
The
dioxide.
carbon dioxide isn't the problem. It's all the
What's the
tar.
problem?
But I want to say about the HF thing. Look, we grew up in, Star Trek grew up in an era of a lot of censorship. You couldn't show, only the movies showed a lot of that body horror. And now we have an adult show, and
Is that an
you're gonna
Oreo?
see some gruesome things happen.
But
And
that's
I
the
think,
thing. It was gruesome,
I-
mostly just to be gruesome. Like I
Yeah.
didn't
I think also,
I didn't
Right.
feel like
It
there was
didn't.
much point. I mean, it needed.
The gore didn't serve a purpose.
okay,
Yeah.
but I think, but one
I
other
mean,
thing though, right?
yeah.
There's a connection to the Game of Thrones because you guys remember the incest brother sister thing going on. I think like just whacking characters off and having gruesome deaths.
Phrasing.
Whoa. Yes. You care to rephrase that?
I mean, I'm from a mafioso sense,
Yes, I know.
But you whack them or you off them.
Yeah.
Whacking off them is something else entirely.
I think that was actually a joke in Analyze This.
You want me to whack a guy, off a guy, whack a guy? Because I'm married. Family Guy.
Okay. We need to bomb
Yeah.
this planet.
So we did arrest a guy who founded the Silk Roads, although he recently received a pardon from the
Exterminatus.
executive branch.
Exterminatus protocol.
But basically, he allowed a website where you could sell drugs, basically, in return for untraceable.
You can sell
funds.
anything.
Yeah, but no, there's consequences.
No, I'm saying they on Silk Road you could sell anything.
Yeah, they shut it down.
My shirt has a weird dark
the feds
colored.
arrested the guy, and he got like a 30-year sentence. So be careful.
Didn't he get well? Who's engaged in selling illicit stuff? Not me. Didn't he get pardoned?
Yeah, by the executive branch.
That's the only branch that can pardon you. Like, yes, he was sentenced to life in prison by the judicial branch. I'm giving you a hard time. I don't know where this weird dark
It makes
stain
sense.
came from.
I'm just surprised the Ferengi don't run this place.
They do have franchises
do.
here. We're going to see a Quarks in a few minutes.
Oh, no way.
Are we?
Is
we don't go
Quark
into
That's
it.
nice
There's,
to know that he.
there's a sign that on a building that says Quarks.
Yeah, there
That's
is.
nice. It's nice to know that he's expanded.
Is Quark still divorced from the FCA though?
Quirk?
No, I think after his mom did those
Quark.
reforms, he must have been brought in good graces.
He's been
That
Quark's
would be
brother
very
is the
Quark.
Grand
Actually,
Mayor.
not.
full.
He got pardoned for
No.
everything.
Clearly, the
That's true.
the way the story actually would have involved is that Quark would have been swindled out of the franchise. So Quark's is expanding and he's penniless.
Though we do see in
That
Lower
definitely
Decks,
feels
Quark
right.
is still at Deep Space Nine.
Okay, that's
He's
good.
still running the bar there.
By the way,
Oh, he
Armin
doesn't- so in my headcanon, he doesn't own it.
Armin Sherman played the first Ferengi in TNG, so you got to think about what an amazing actor he is. That he's able to like basically do a whole species.
He played a Ferengi in the first episode that Ferengi appeared.
He played the worst Ferengi
don't
and the
think
best
he-
Ferengi.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think the first one we saw on screen though.
Although that doesn't say a lot about his range as an actor, though.
Well, I think it had
He
a
was
lot
also
to do
good
with
as smarmy
the
mayor
writing.
Yeah.
in Buffy.
He was the mayor
So
in Buffy.
it's on this down shot. Oh, there's Mott's Hair Emporium.
There's Quark. bar.
I
Was
don't
the
see
principal?
Mods
Was
I
the mayor the
see
principal? I
Dabo
don't remember.
tables there. I don't see the word quarks. I know there's the word quarks
There
somewhere in the
definitely is.
show.
Quark's in the center, right there. You missed it.
Oh,
It was vertically written. Like it said bar horizontally, and it said quark vertically.
All right, well, that's one more TNG reference because we had Mr. Mott, who was the barber on the Enterprise D.
Yep.
Are we counting Deep Space Nine references?
No, just TNG references.
TNG references.
Because it's Picard.
Well, Quark did appear in a couple episodes of TNG.
That's true. That counts.
There you go.
Is a-
In
He
fact,
had a little cameo.
didn't Quark appear in Generations?
No,
remember
he
that.
he
Did he?
had a
Yeah.
scripted thing
He
for
did- he gave him-
Insurrection, but he was cut.
I thought they gave him. I thought he gave the Enterprise the location of Lursa and Baitor. Oh, I think that was for an episode of TNG.
Yeah, that was in TNG, where
he,
Jonathan
he
Frakes, whatever his
canceled.
name
Commander
Commander Riker. He canceled his credits at the bar
is. Yeah.
Hmm.
I
in
think
exchange for the information.
yeah, that was TNG.
So if the goal is to try to look inconspicuous, I don't think Rios is doing a good job. That's known as
You know
peacock,
what?
by the way.
Maybe
So,
look as ridiculous as possible, and then people will avoid you.
Or if everybody looks ridiculous, like imagine it's a beast.
No
Nobody
one
looks
does.
ridiculous.
You're
Right.
right. But his
Thanks,
head bobbing
Syndrome.
is a little bit too. Right.
That's why I tell my boss at work: if everything is urgent, nothing is urgent. I can't
Absolutely.
prioritize these tasks
Hey,
because everything is urgent.
If everything's in caps, nothing is in caps. So
Well, that specific iteration I wouldn't agree with because things that are in all caps are so hard to read. It's awful.
yeah, but if your idea is to emphasize something, writing your whole
Yeah.
litany
all right.
in cap is
So why is
against
there a
the
light
point.
bulb in a plasma ball? Mr. Quark of
It's really
Ferenginar.
nice.
He specifically said Mr. Quark of Ferenginar.
I like the lights hanging from the top too. It's a really nice scene set. Like perfect for a shootout.
What is
This
he?
is a lot calmer than the Section
species
31
is he?
bar we saw, but I would still hate to be here.
Yeah.
He looks like a Iridian, but not really.
Also, this guy sounds
is he?
like those the guys from Mass Effect who state their emotions.
So
Melkor?
why is he a 1970s pimp?
Why not?
It's
Do you not like
ca-
swing
it's-
music?
It's called peacocking. You
Because
literally
it's
put-
funny.
Wait, his finger
And also,
isn't even on
I
the
thought the
trigger.
explanation about him standing out, like, was a good one. That's actually seems plausible. That'd be a good reason to do that.
So they're called Beta Inari.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, it's not really how it works.
No, that because like a polygraph test, that's all it
Doesn't
does too.
work.
Just like right, but it does measure an increased physiological response, which would happen more if you're lying than if you're telling the truth.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but you know what? I think that this is the thing. Maybe like lying sweat has a different odor than like I'm just panicked sweat. I don't know.
I don't buy it. You smell like Old
'Cause
Spice. Way too much Old
we-
Spice.
Here's my thing. I feel like our physiology does change when we're engaged in deception. Like I watch police interrogation videos, and like they're so talkative at the beginning, and then when you ask them, "Hey, where were you on Friday, 6 p.m.?" They become like, "Oh, my memory doesn't work too good." Really, you were just telling me intimate details of your life, rattling them off.
No, Patrick.
This is
Patrick,
too bad.
why?
Okay, I will give the haters a point on this one. We don't need this.
Patrick, we have you
Supposed to
on
be
record,
French.
recorded in a podcast, saying that a French accent for Picard would not work because he can't do it.
And also, You were an executive producer on this show. At any point, you could have said X that.
I feel like it was his idea.
It was his
Yeah,
idea. I guarantee all the worst decisions are his idea. Let's be honest.
Okay. I just
He's
Wait,
just like, I
are
want
they
to do
already
it. I wanna
exes
try.
at this point,
Let's
or
try.
did they only date for the first time later?
I'm not sure.
Because their relationship
they're
was
not-
weird, and they
they're
kept
definitely
breaking up and getting
flirting.
back together.
they're not involved. They're not involved right now. They're. Oh wait, no, they did have a thing and they stopped talking to each other. So they are like old friends. They never really like kindled it though. You know that eye patch is like
Is Elnor autistic?
Probably.
Mm,
Yes. Definitely.
man, that green
you're-
boa thing.
When you're autistic, you can recognize
He's
your
trying so
own.
hard.
Oh, look at him walk. He's got a little swagger.
How come none of us recognize Ryan then?
What?
know.
Absolutely recognize Ryan.
But you
Yeah.
know the funny thing is though, it's on a spectrum, so we all do certain behaviors that might be classified
Right.
as that. So that's why it's a spectrum.
Ryan has constructed a program for topical social interaction
Yes, quite.
conversations. So Ryan, how are things in your life today? This week?
That's my business.
Is
You
that
just keep to yourself.
is your short-term goal going well?
How's the progress to your long-term goal? How many percentage
stalled.
points have you moved toward it?
-5.
I need to see medics. No, shut up, Patrick.
Stop it. I've never heard Patrick Stewart convincingly do any type of dialect or accent other than his own.
Yeah, he's really good at a British accent. 10 out of 10.
But I've
He was
never
a-
even heard him do a different British dialect.
Apparently,
You
he was his native accent is actually markedly different.
Yeah, he's not from London. He's from
But-
Yeah.
Both him and Ian
Yeah.
McKellen were trained with this accent.
Patrick
right,
does
they're
actually
very
do a
well
different
Yeah,
British
yeah.
accent in TNG
So-
once. When he's on
So
the
yes,
holodeck
they-
pretending to be a British soldier from a Shakespeare play, he does a different British accent.
That might have been his native accent. I don't know. I'd have to see.
Maybe.
But you know something I learned though in season 1 for TNG, Picard, because obviously he's on an American TV show, he distinctly learned how to pronounce words an American way. So I just the one example, Galaxy for Galaxy class, he doesn't say it a British way. He says it the way everybody on this panel except Soma says it.
It's a galaxy class.
Okay, you said it normal, Soma.
That's not a word that differentiates the two dialects.
It's just
The only
No,
difference
no,
there
no,
would
no,
be
no.
class
I'd
versus
agree, I'd
class.
say.
Yeah,
No,
and even
no,
that
no.
is differs by British accent.
It depends if you're Frosh or not. You have to
Yes,
say
yes.
class. Or you just
Soma,
say
how does your
class.
brother say it?
My brother is more American.
Yes, exactly.
I didn't say. Yeah.
So he would say it
Also,
class.
a lot of
Class.
Yeah,
Americanism,
probably.
a lot of Americanisms have crept into British English.
Yeah.
Even their grammar.
Yeah, I
has
find myself annoyed by those
Americanisms.
Americanisms here. It's kind of silly because it's like not my thing to be mad about, but still, I'm always like, come on.
Yeah.
I
Resist,
traveled
damn you
across the
people.
ocean to get away from this.
Exactly.
Now
exactly.
here you are
Yes.
bringing it to me.
Per Rammstein,
Can't get away from
we're all
McDonald's. Can't
living
get away
in
from
America.
Starbucks.
I don't think
I-
we say the
Yes.
word galaxy any different to Americans.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay, sorry,
Soma,
sorry.
say the
But
word.
I don't want to mock you.
Galaxy.
We
That
need your
sounds
brother
exactly
to
the
come out
same.
here and
Yeah, I don't.
I think galaxy, like something more like the syllables would be
Gal-
different.
The only different pronunciation I can think
No.
of is Darth Sidious, where it's galaxy.
Okay,
And
here.
like
That's another
RP would
classic
actually be a
Picard
little bit
actor
different.
as
If someone
well.
were like properly like 60s era, it'd be Galaxy. It'd be an
Yeah.
sound. It's kind of funny.
What's
Yeah,
what's
But
the
like you
metal?
never hear
What's
that
the
here.
metal? Hold on.
You have to
What's
watch
the
an old
metal
movie
they
to
used to
hear that.
make cans of drinks,
Oh,
carbonated
that's not a
beverages?
pronunciation difference. That's just
What's
that's not an accent
what's
difference.
that metal?
That's
Hold
a
on, wait.
different.
That's a different
Sol-
name.
Soma, what is the metal they
Categorically
used?
aluminium.
Eh,
No, it is literally categorically aluminium because that
and
was
it's
what he wrote
spelled
in his
aluminium
notes.
too over there. So
But guys, we're
He wrote
missing out on the lore about
different-
the Council of Eight or whatever. Oh no.
okay. So speaking of substance abuse, you have to cut off an addict at some point because they're always swindling you, and it's the hardest thing. And I feel
Swindling.
like
Imagine it would be, yeah.
give me another $200 and I promise I'll go to rehab next week. And you keep hearing
Yeah.
that every single.
I
It's so tragic, and I feel like
The
this show
Romulans.
is
I would.
too real.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I might be able to cut off an addict. I know I would feel horrible about it. Like I
All
would
you
not
have
be
to
able to
do
like
is
insulate
say
myself
computer
from the guilt.
transport her to the medical center. And you're done. You did it.
Oh my god, that's
So-
that's his daughter-in-law, her daughter.
So
Yeah, a Romulan.
I have a story about this exact thing, a personal experience.
About Romulans?
And no, I would share it offline. I don't want to share it on the stream.
Okay.
No, about cutting someone off who's
I used to watch a lot of.
That's pretty intense.
an addict.
I used to watch a lot of Intervention, which is not a good thing, but like with a college friend. But the thing is, though, basically everybody's crying in a room, and they're like, "Look, it's now or never. If you don't go to rehab now, that's it. We can't facilitate you.
Yeah.
We can't enable you."
Yeah.
Actually, I've got two stories about this. So I've got two stories about this. So I guess I don't know what it was. This is like a
Who's
second
alive?
cousin. My mother's cousin's daughter and her boyfriend were like they were into opioids. Like they were doing
Mhm.
opioids, like hard stuff.
Mhm.
And I guess that they were going to go to rehab
Mhm.
at some point. Oh, I just remembered. And they got their tax return, and they took the tax return and they split on the rehab, and they went to Florida and got a bunch of drugs, and then she OD'd, and she died. And then like a year or year and a half later, the boyfriend killed himself because the guilt, I guess.
So yeah, I mean, I feel for Rafi, but the crazy. Okay, what I like is by the end of season 3, she does reconcile with her son and sees her grandbaby. So we have a happy ending. People can get better. We want everyone to get better.
I don't know what this guy is doing, but he's welding
apparently-
something on the side of his house.
Well, what this
Oh, you're
guy
talking
is
about me
doing is
watching
trying to
videos.
drug someone who's having a panic attack.
Yeah.
You're just like, have you tried just talking to her?
I mean, in fairness, right? Beverly would have just given, 22 cc's of anapropylene.
Cordrazine, probably. Cordrazine solves everything.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to spend like a day in a real Star Trek medical facility and just get everything fixed
Mm-hmm,
and steal a dermal regenerator.
mm-hmm.
We need... The best thing about Star Trek's medical care isn't just that they have really fancy technology. It's the fact that you can just walk in to a doctor's office anytime you want and get
And see a doctor.
see a real good,
And for
highly
free.
educated doctor.
A world
Worst case scenario, you see an EMH, and even the EMH is better than the doctors
Better than
we have
I'd
now.
rather have an EMH, to be honest.
Me too. So true.
Right? See, that's how we know we're truly autistic.
Even if it's Robert Zimmerman, like I totally take him.
I don't want to interact with a human. Just give me the EMH. I don't
No,
care if his
look,
bedside manner is
I,
terrible.
I was
My
more
bedside
thinking
manner is
about
terrible.
the efficiency of a program.
qualifications of a program.
Being trained in
Like,
over
in fact,
3 million forms of surgery.
I was just watching an episode of Voyager from season 4, and the EMH can't download Grey's Anatomy, which is the medical textbook. And Harry Kim downloads it onto a pad, and he gives it to Tom Paris.
One
and
of
says,
us,
now
Eldor.
you gotta read it.
Elder just
Yeah, how
asked,
come-
are we still pretending?
How come the
Clearly
pad can
not.
hold it, but the doctor's program can't?
Yeah.
That was a good line. Were you pretending? No, I think everyone has finally stopped.
Oh my god,
That was
Eldor,
nice.
you found a gun. Good job.
Yes. Yes.
See, he is the Picard. He's the only one.
Yeah, he really is. And by the way, the eye patch wasn't a good disguise.
Well, apparently it worked.
Yeah.
So remember the eye patch from Metal Gear Solid 4?
No, I didn't play
I kind of
that.
want that.
Oh, they had a fling, I think.
Yeah.
Before
Yes, I think close personal relationship was meant to convey that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she can settle her
So-
personal score. It'd take like 2 seconds. Just shoot her. It's fine.
Yeah.
She does.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yourself, Seven.
You know, again, this ties into the Echeb thing. Look, a smaller federation just means, you know, the galaxies left to be more barbaric. And that's what she did, you know, like some people take advantage of chaos like that. And by the way, it is sad and
Chaos is a
unfortunate.
ladder.
Yeah.
Dear God.
That seems
Oh,
inefficient,
God,
to be
dude,
honest.
Jesus Christ.
Why would you not kill him first so he doesn't at least like squirm around? You're making things harder for yourself.
Tissue must be
I think the idea
harvested
is,
from a living host.
so with organ harvesting, you want fresh body parts, but this is a mechanical harvesting.
You kill him first, all sorts of weird hormones and stuff happens with the nanoprobes. You can't have that. Gotta have that unspoiled meat.
Already,
Seven killer.
anyway.
Why did he wait
But-
that long?
No, he was only pulling out. The guy was reaching for his gun.
Yeah.
So he did it just
Oh,
in
gotcha.
time. But
He had one of those
gotta say-
discovery guns that like phases in on your wrist.
Yeah.
I gotta say, usually our heroes are not like in such a gambit like this. The last time I can think of is Gambit Part 1 and 2 TNG. But there's no way out for them. They're in the enemy's terrain.
No, Seven, just kill her.
They have a thing. You can't kill somebody you used to have the hots for.
Sure you can. It's really easy, actually. You pull
Well-
the trigger and they're gone. They go away.
The implication is you still have the hots for them.
Make the bad man go away.
Use gun on Crazy Lady.
Also, I think, you know, Seven being part of the Fenris Rangers, you know, they uphold the ideals of Starfleet that no one else does.
No, I really like that arc for her. That tried to do the fly straight, tried to join Starfleet, joined the Fenris Rangers. There's a lot about sort of struggling to be neurodivergent in a world that doesn't care about her sort of story. Struggling to do good and not understanding the world.
Also, the idea, the Lone Ranger, that was like the biggest TV show on TV before Star Trek. So the idea is
Gunsmoke. What was the other one about
Andy
the
Griffith Show,
ranch? No. What was the one?
Roadhouse.
Ponderosa.
Yeah.
Ponderosa. A lot of westerns.
But yeah, the
In the
Lone
50s
Ranger
and 60s.
was so the idea, right? That like even if nobody else is doing the right thing, you'll be the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I got sick of superhero movies, I remember how dominant westerns were for how long. I just have to remember it ended. We did in fact get sick of westerns eventually. It's fine.
I'm
the
sick
seven-
of superhero movies. I don't know.
I know.
about you,
That's what I'm
but-
saying. It's that like there will be another genre at some point.
Yeah.
Really, Star Trek kind of continue it. So I hate to break it to you, you're still watching westerns, buddy.
Star Trek isn't a western.
Yeah,
Firefly's a
7.
western.
I mean, this isn't a
Oops.
saloon over here.
Star Trek did play with western occasionally, but not
Themes,
in
yeah.
the TNG
No.
era.
Yeah, true. But I
And
mean,
even
the
now,
original
it's
TOS
occasionally. I mean, it does every genre. Like that's the fun thing about Star Trek. It could do
What are you
anything,
talking
but
about?
It's not usual thing.
Deep Space Nine was definitely a western.
Yeah, that was an
Ooh,
outpost.
DS. Okay, that's a good point. DS9
And
is
they
definitely
pitched-
closer.
They pitched it as like, if TNG is,
The wagon
I don't know,
train.
Gunsmoke. Yeah, this other one is
Yeah,
another
okay.
thing, and
DS9 is
And they
physically on the
pitched-
western end of the Federation territory.
they pitched.
I mean, that's
they
fair.
pitched,
Okay, yeah.
They
Still not
pitched
quite as
TOS
much
as
a western
Wagon
as Firefly
Train.
is, but it's definitely closer.
They pitched
Uh,
TOS as Wagon Train to the Stars, right?
No, yeah. Odo's literally constable. So
yeah. That's true. Okay,
He's
that's
the
fair.
sheriff.
That's
He's
fair.
the sheriff.
okay. I mean, you got to do your own Law and Order, like Kira too. She's
The
constabulary.
local constabulary.
Right.
Is it just me, or do her
Fudge.
phasers look like the assault rifle from Halo?
A
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
Whoa. You can kill
It's because
someone.
it is
Yes.
a toy of the assault rifle from Halo.
Well done, Annika.
Why did she take? Why is she holding two phaser rifles like that?
Because
With
she's
a
Bruce
badass.
Willis.
Completely negating the advantage of rifle. Why didn't she just take hand phasers?
She's doing the Die
Because
Hard
there
thing.
were rifles on the wall. There weren't hand phasers on the wall.
You never seen
I was a little
Bruce
disappointed
Willis?
that we didn't
And
get
because
original
because
Bruce
phaser
back.
rifles don't have recoil, so
Who's this
fine.
guy? This isn't
Yeah.
Bruce Maddox.
Well, then why do you have a phaser rifle at all? There's no recoil and
fair.
it's targeting automatically. Then why do you need a rifle?
Longer battery.
that's a good
It's-
question.
There's the tiny little firing mechanism that's the same as the hand phaser, and the rest of it's all battery.
That's kind of plausible, actually.
Makes sense.
But you could just have more batteries for the hand phaser, or more hand phaser. You could just have a bandolier of hand phasers.
Or like a Worf style ammo belt. That's just
Yeah.
batteries.
How about just a backpack? A backpack of battery
Yeah.
with a little cable that runs to the hand phaser.
That would make a lot of sense.
I mean, that's how the Apple Vision Pro works.
I think the only time
Yeah,
I've ever
kinda.
seen someone run out of energy for an energy weapon is in
Deep
Knights
Space
of the Old
Nine.
Republic 2, actually. When did
Firefly.
that happen to Deep
I was
Space
at
Nine?
Firefly. It even says
Deep-
check
Deep
battery, as
Space
I
Nine.
recall.
I remember there was a
Which should have-
Mandalorian in KOTOR 2 that ran out of energy. And you get to make fun of him for it.
Deep Space Nine, when they were gonna get the siege of whatever that planet was, the episode,
AR-558.
they passed out extra power cells.
Yeah.
And then they killed Will Robinson.
No, so that implies that it can run out, but it doesn't actually show it running out.
True.
Well, just because they didn't show it on screen doesn't mean it didn't happen.
No,
Why would
but
they need
Ryan's
extra
point is
energy cells?
we've never seen them run out of battery. So
Right, except on Firefly. Which I think the whole point of that gag was just to like demonstrate that it makes sense that there are guns on the show, even though it's a
Yeah.
space show.
Let me tell you, my guns don't run out of gatteries.
So,
Batteries.
there's a
Actually,
trope,
Gatteries. Yep.
there's a trope in action movies: the hero never runs out of bullets. So it kind
Yeah.
of makes sense that
Oh, but that's not true though. And in, like in Equilibrium, he definitely runs out of batteries and he reloads in the coolest manner ever.
It's true
Uh,
in the holodeck when Picard is gunning down Borg.
oh, well,
So
in the
actually,
Matrix, they
one
run out of
time
batteries and then they run out of ammo and then just switch guns. That works pretty well too.
I got
Wait,
one
no.
time I got to the range and the battery in my scope was dead. So that happened to
Wait.
me.
In First Contact, the holodeck, the Tommy gun runs out of bullets. That's why he uses it to hit the barrel of the gun on the Borg.
He sure
And then
does.
Lily's like, "Hey, stop it! I think you got him."
The buttstock. He's hitting him with the buttstock.
So the gun does run out, but after
The
we kill all
buttstock
the
is a very good club.
amazing acting by Patrick Stewart, by the way. So because you fall into that scene.
This isn't Patrick Stewart.
He's-
This is Bruce Maddox.
Sorry, I meant the First Contact scene when he's
know.
attacking the Borg with
Yeah.
the butt of a gun. I
He's
mean,
channeling all his rage about being stuck doing the sci-fi role for the last 20 years at that point.
I was going to suggest a rat in a cage, but I think that makes more sense.
that First
What?
Contact scene was so
Channeling the
good
rage of a rat in a cage.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
because
what that's
you
a
know,
reference to, but it rhymes, so I'm into it.
It's a,
Mickey
it's a
the
song.
Nose,
Is that who is it? Smashing Pumpkins or something?
watch your caboose dicks and dump the broad. It's like you sign up for Star Trek, but you're getting
soon.
Why do we even call him Soong anymore? It's just Brent. It's always Brent.
look at what
The paternal line has some very strong genetics. Unless he's just a clone each time.
It's highly suggested he keeps cloning himself, and
Yeah.
that's why he's switching to cyborgs or androids. The real secret of the Soong
Yes.
family is they developed a way to inject a fertilized egg into their partner through normal intercourse.
Did I miss the scene where he shows up with 5 different accents?
Picard.
No, Rios, or his various H's,
Yeah,
his
I
various
think
EHs.
that was last week. We ran into the
Yeah.
2 or 3 images. So this is where we learn Girardi's evil deep down.
Oh no, she's not evil. She's just been.
She did just murder a guy.
Manipulated.
She gave
Yeah.
somebody a horrible death, even though she's crying about it.
And he even looks a little Borgy with the way his blood vessels burst.
Man, that's what
I
it
mean,
is.
it's
You
kind
look a
of
little Borgy.
it's
You
kind
don't
of a
know what I look
harbinger-
like.
It's kind of a
I know
harbinger
exactly what you look like.
to her as the Borg Queen soon, right? Because she is the destroyer of worlds.
All right, last episode for today,
Or
the
Queen Dress is
Impossible
next
Box.
season.
The Impossible Box. All I remember about this episode is that we get to see... I'm pretty sure this is the episode we get to see the vision that Girardi saw. And there's a big circle of Romulans, and then there's not. And that's it. So anyway, how about that weather?
It's been raining all day.
Nice.
It's lovely and sunny here.
Oh, gross.
I'm
5,
not a fan
4,
of the rain.
3, 2, 1, play.
In the original Bruce Maddox episode of TNG, by the Bruce Maddox is a TNG reference. He says that he wants to dissect data so he could figure out how that positronic net works. So he hasn't figured it out, and he still wants to like destroy the thinking machine.
It's just a
He wants to take it
machine.
apart to see to see
Right,
how
and
it
also-
works, to see if he can make another one.
Right, but also the idea
How
is
many more?
he was the only person to oppose Data's entrance to Starfleet Academy on the grounds that he's not a person.
Well, he's not a person. He's better.
He's nothing anymore.
No, he's the Data plus lore now.
Bruce Maddox is nothing anymore.
Oh, okay, okay.
He has ceased to
Was that
be.
the same? Was that the same actor from
Nope.
TNG?
It was not.
Okay.
Sadly.
No. Yeah, that's unfortunate. What's that actor up to right now? What's he doing?
I don't know.
Probably not acting.
This is a fake memory.
He's probably selling carpets in South Dakota or something.
The writer who wrote Measure of a Man, she was hesitant to go with the Supreme Court kind of decision, Dred Scott versus,
Yes, I saw that recently.
and but her friend George R. R. Martin told her to go ahead with it and like never save your silver bullet in writing. So she just wrote such a fantastic episode, even though.
Why didn't he take his own advice? We've been waiting 20 years, George. Where's the book? Where's the book?
He's a rich man.
He's not worried about us.
Da 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 da.
Since 2008, the original Maddox actor has served as the director of theater arts at the California Institute of Technology. Good for you, Bruce.
Okay, so not selling carpet.
Cool. He was a good actor because you did hate him like viscerally, just of the casual disregard he had for Data as a person, and that's a character we love. Even Data, Picard's girlfriend, the JAG, Judge Advocate. She makes us
General.
hate her.
Judge Advocate General.
Thank you. Thank you.
He was also a parole hearing guy in Shawshank Redemption.
Parole hearing guy.
Yeah.
Shawshank
He
Redemption.
he was the one that
Yeah,
stamped
one of the guys
approval. Morgan Freeman. Jim.
Morgan Freeman kept getting denied until he got there. He's like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Do whatever you want. They're like, approved. The voice you're hearing is the voice of Bruce Maddox. Spared no expense.
Well, you better hurry up and get yours, Soji. I'm due to kill you in 3 days. Speed it up.
Welcome to Android Park.
That sounds like slavery to me.
planet.
You can't keep
Android
androids
Park.
just in a park. It's messed up.
Sure.
So
Where are they now?
in bed.
Then
But
they are back.
in Philip K. Dick's Blade Runner,
The androids dream of electric sheep.
there's an idea of you have a robot slash replicant. Sorry to use the term, Ryan, robot, but they don't know that they're a robot. And then how do you test somebody? So like, I like how they implanted false memories into Dodge and Soji, because like, but what I think is messed up is she still talks to her mom every day, and that's just so.
Yeah, but her mom's a simulation.
Mom in
Her
quotes.
mom's
Massive air quotes.
her like.
Can you have Soji mom AI voice like Samuel?
That would be difficult.
I think like Facebook's Instagram is already pushing on me like this character AI. It really wants me to socialize with like
gross.
Soji's mom.
Well,
Soji's
of course they
mom.
want you to socialize with AI accounts because that's all that's gonna be left.
Yeah.
And they need to train the AIs to have.
Yeah.
in social interactions.
I picked a random one and said it was going to give me fashion advice, and it's wearing like a sneaker logo on its
They're
jacket.
gonna give you fascist advice.
Fashion.
Well,
Dismantle
it's
democracy.
Facebook.
By the way,
So yeah, that theory of the silent internet or whatever, where it's just all bots talking to one another.
Mhm.
Did you see the video where
Are you a bot?
an AI? Maybe. Did you see the video where the AI assistant calls a hotel and the hotel answers with an AI assistant, and then they go, "Oh, you're an AI. I'm an AI. Would you like to go to a more efficient form of communication?" And they just start talking in like tones. Sounds like modems back and forth.
Which why wouldn't they do that immediately? Like they would just they all they would do
Because they
is
don't
like
want to do
in the
that to
first
a
second,
person.
yeah, make some sort of blip that a human can't make that AIs can recognize, and then they just go from there. They would not start with words. That's inefficient.
Well, it's
But
programmed by
also, like,
inefficient beings
why
for
would they be
inefficient
using the
beings.
phone in the first place to get in touch? Like, why would they? It's just like
Because that's the interface that exists at the moment.
no. But if we AI get to that point, the idea that the best thing they could do is get a hold of each other, like over human
Look,
voice network.
I understand your point. I get your point, but at the same time, to get these systems to integrate into the system we have now, it's going to require them to be able to interface with systems that are designed for meat bags. All right.
I just
We're so screwed.
I think
They're
that
not intelligent.
the transition period for that is going to be very short because by the time that we actually have general AIs that are that good at that sort of thing, we'll like there will be a transitional period where we have where orders are sent by more direct fashion than just humans over phone. I don't know.
All these businesses are going to set up AI bot lines. Don't call the AI. Ever call a number and it's a fax machine by accident, and it's just
Right? Yeah,
this is what's going to happen.
it happened to be in a couple decades, but yes.
Oh, that was at TNG, 3 episodes of TNG. So that was Hugh. The first one was... It was somewhere on Romulus, of course, but where... Actually, I think that first picture was from the Section 31 episode on DS9.
That's Locutus.
Locutus of Borg. How many episodes was
Inter
that?
Arma Silent Laters.
Yeah, it was that one. So that wasn't
was a
even a
good
TNG
shot.
episode. That didn't have anything to do with the Borg or androids or anything.
Oh, if that happens to the sky, you're in trouble. If
What
a
do you
piece
mean
of the
that's-
sky shatters and falls,
Because the sky is a dome.
right?
Because they don't want us to see what's really up there.
Mm-hmm. NASA's a big conspiracy.
NASA, of course, being the only space agency on the planet and the only people with telescopes.
Yep.
By the way, did you know this International Space Station is due to retire by like 2030?
It was due to already retired.
There's debate over whether they're going to deorbit it or if they're going to extend its life.
Well, Russia and the U.S. are not talking to each other right now, so we're probably going to deorbit
Well,
it because
Are they?
Talking to each other
though?
more than they've ever talked to each other.
but no, hold on.
Hey, new
The ISS was
besties.
born. The ISS was born when, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the USA and Russia agreed to link up two space stations, and then everybody else, like the Chinese and the Europeans and everybody else, started adding modules, and it became truly international.
Okay, so you're
I'm
saying
not sure
that because the space station is due to retire,
if China is
we're now
involved.
making friends with Russia again so that we can get another one with them.
Okay.
So originally, it was going to be the space station Freedom. It was just going to be the United States, and they were going to have a Mir 2. And after the collapse of the Soviet Union, we're like, hey, you know what? Let's just combine these two. And then we started letting in the ESA and stuff. But I don't think China was ever involved. You need to fact check that. China built their own. It's not very good. But it exists.
You know, I learned Brazilian football players. They play a game. They just call it futsal. They just kick a ball against the wall for like 20 minutes, an hour, whatever you do.
Yep.
But like all you do is you just train your foot, like the way Rios was doing here. Pretty nice. I mean, but that's how they get so dexterous with their feet.
So United States, Russia, Japan, Europe, Canada, Italy, Brazil. And it's like
Okay.
80% United States.
I may have confused Japan with China. Sorry.
Oh, don't do that.
The point was, though, it's a U.S.-American merger, a U.S.-Russian merger of two modules, and then the Europeans were like, let's add our modules, and it becomes a truly global laboratory up in space, which was a beautiful vision, actually, for what science can accomplish. And even to this day, like, that's why I feel bad about decommissioning it. It's really cool that, like,
Oh my god,
We can't
Agnes,
even
you
fix-
just murdered your boyfriend and you're already on to the next guy in like 2 hours? Agnes, what's wrong with you?
This is post-murder sex. She's so wound up from all the killing. She has to get one out.
I mean, in her defense, he does have his shirt off, you know? And he was...
Oh, she's remembering she just killed her last boyfriend.
Are you gonna kill him too?
She's gonna get all of us killed at some point.
I have a superpower. He's saying Rios is a mistake.
Guilt. Shame.
I really didn't like her character for the whole first season.
She didn't like her character for the whole first season. I don't think anybody liked her character for the whole first season.
One line I
And
do like, though, she says she has daddy issues when she's talking to Picard, and I was like, that's so
The
hilarious.
second season existed was solely to get rid of her character.
No, she was written interestingly enough, actually. She's neurotic and yet highly intelligent, which I can empathize with.
I mean, that's everybody who's highly intelligent.
You know, I don't have
Intelligence is a curse. It's
Not that
people
you
who
would
are
know.
way dumber are way happier.
Maybe
They're not aware of how screwed up things are.
Fortunately, I don't have crippling anxiety, but a lot of people do, so I feel like it's a good thing to put in a character if you want them to relate with the
Oh my
audience.
god, she's messing up his Rubik's Cube.
That would give me crippling anxiety.
Ah, what was that? Was that Romulan ale? It was blue.
Yeah. But I forgot he has an accent.
Everybody has an accent.
I just forgot that was meant to make him a little more hot.
But she does have a... Do they have different accents?
Yeah.
Does he dream of electric sheep?
Would you, if you could be a Soon style android, Ryan, would you switch?
Do I get beriled or is it actually me?
Why would you want to make him more autistic, Robo?
Whoa, wow. Did you get beriled or is it actually you?
Yeah.
It isn't berile actually berile? Isn't that the only way to make... Would you rather be beriled or would you rather be Picarded?
I don't know. They're both dead. There's no good way about this.
They're both dead. Yeah, there is no good way, is there?
It would be awesome to be an android, but I don't know if you could
Would
do
it be
that
like-
without killing me.
Could you ship a thesis it, like have it very slowly convert your brain cells to positronic network, and
You
then
mean like Vedic Burial?
well, Vedic Burial did it a lot faster. It was like, instantaneous. Half of his brain was turned into
Yes,
positronic.
I have thought sometimes
computer.
like if you could do that, that would pretty much be the only way to do it. I would also want to limit it to the positronic net only growing while you're awake to really maintain the sense of consciousness throughout.
Well, if you're going down that route, you may as well have the unknown lifespan limit that they gave the Picard golem.
No. I want the
Unlimited lifespan.
immortal DLC.
Okay.
As
So you
long
still
as
wanna
it's
sleep.
destructible.
All right. It's kind of weird that you want to sleep.
Yeah, that's
and
half the
have, like-
point.
You want like crow dreams with like
No, let me.
Brent Spiner
What I'm
and-
saying is, I
and
want the positronic net to only be taking over neurons while
Mhm.
awake. I don't want it to grow while I'm asleep.
Yeah.
You want like flesh dreams, weirdly enough.
This has nothing to do with dreams. This is about maintaining a continuous of consciousness while the neurons are being rewritten.
Okay.
Once it's all positronic, it can do whatever it wants.
All right. But the end goal of that is going to be Barclay from the Nth Degree inside a giant holodeck, and like I can't put my brain back into my brain because that would kill me.
Can't put your mind back into your brain. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just pull me completely into a computer. That's okay.
That's what it's going to be. You're going to need
See,
like a whole
pull me
staff
completely into the computer, and then give me an EMH mobile emitter so I can have a physical presence in meat space. And I can do whatever I want.
and the meet you is like sitting on a chair in the holodeck.
That's fine.
All right.
It's like the Immortal Emperor in Warhammer 40k. You're on a throne.
We can just matrix everybody, make us batteries. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, there's a Bruce Willis movie where he's like sitting in a chair in a room, and he has like a android body, and that's just how everybody is in the future. So everybody has a designer android body.
I guess Avatar goes there too. You're really sleeping in a pod while your avatars running around.
Isn't that really what our brains are doing all the time anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my brain's doing while I'm at work.
But okay, so you guys
We
are
just want to
signing
be
up for the
freed
Matrix
of our
agreement?
meat suits.
Okay.
Yep.
So you guys are signing up for the machines taking over now. Okay.
Well, we want to be the machines taking over. I don't think you misunderstand.
Well, no, Ryan was saying make us batteries, which is
Oh, Matrix batteries.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not using your flesh body
okay.
anyway, what else are you going to do with it?
I don't know. Liquefy it, feed it to the hungry.
Rafaela.
Oh, that's a funny line, by the way. I knew I should have screened that call. She answers in such a cheery way. Because, a drug addict is persona non grata around all their family and friends.
Only call you when I need
Babe.
something. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nobody believes anything you say.
Sorry, Rafi, but that's highly illegal, so no.
Also, mind you, the Federation is much weaker than it was before. They really don't have ships to like deploy staff.
Anyway, now that I know you can't do anything for me, I'm gonna go. I'll call you again when in my next crisis. Facts.
Rampaging id.
Stop.
I know.
Oh, is it not Unich and Riley on the brochures anymore?
Could be.
So Raffi's going to prison when they come back, right? Immediate arrest on returning to Earth.
Oh. Okay. Well, that happened.
Yeah, she just gave her a massive, massive diplomatic headache.
Well, you know what though? That's straight out of TNG. Do you remember like Regent Worf at the end of TNG? Or I think they used Chancellor Kempek at some point too. But
Chancellor Kempek.
Somehow they
before
used-
Gowron took over.
yeah, somehow they use someone else's. Oh, so also in Star Trek 5, the Klingon ambassador who's held hostage by the Cybok, he uses his diplomatic pull to override the Klingon captain who's trying to attack the Enterprise. And it's a Klingon bird of prey that attacks the god in the center of the galaxy. But yeah, it's like I'm gonna get in trouble for this one, but this is your last favor for me.
Raffi is following the rules of acquisition. Treat people in your debt like family. Exploit them.
Exploit them. That's right. So, what is with pizza and being?
What's the deal
I feel
with
like
pizza?
cold pizza. I feel like cold pizza is a different category than hot pizza. Like most food, cold, not good. but I think once pizza becomes a certain temperature, it turns into something different. It turns into
That's called a
something
chemical
else.
reaction. Yes, that's called what cooking is.
Pumpkin pie is similar. Cold pumpkin pie can be really good.
I don't
Pumpkin
think
pie
I've
is
ever had
supposed to
hot
be
pumpkin
hot?
pie.
Wait,
Yeah, exactly. I've never had hot pumpkin pie.
You're supposed to cool it on a windowsill.
I've
so
had
it's
I've
not
had hot
too-
apple pie with a piece of
I guess
American
I'm
cheese
impatient,
melted
so I
on
have
top.
had hot pumpkin pie. But yes,
So have you ever had apple pie with American cheese on top?
No.
Yeah,
that,
hot
that
apple
doesn't
pie
sound
with a
good.
slice.
I'm sorry.
No, hot apple pie with a slice of American cheese on top. I swear to you.
what about
All right.
First of all,
cold Pop-Tarts versus hot
It
Pop-Tarts?
does make it extremely American.
Hot Pop
It
Tarts
is
are definitely better
extremely
than cold
American.
Pop Tarts, but cold Pop
If you
Tarts
say
are
so.
nice.
I have cold Pop Tarts all the time at work because it's the most calorie dense thing you can get for the money out of the
No.
little.
Just
vending
go buy a
machine.
bottle of vegetable oil. You'll get so many calories. And it's
Oh,
only
and
like
lots of
$2 for a
lard,
liter.
butter.
No, I argue that it's negative calories because if you drink a bunch of vegetable oil, you'll have immediate diarrhea, and all the
Yeah.
calories will come right out of you. It's like celery has negative calories because even though it has calories, it takes more calories to chew it than it contains. Well, even though vegetable oil has calories in it, when you drink it, you'll all the calories you've ingested will come out.
Okay, how long is Soji gonna make it here? How many seconds? Gonna pass out in... I'm gonna say 20. Nope, still awake,
Star
still
Trek,
fighting it.
Your
What
lover
if you
is
emulsify the vegetable oil with egg yolks and then you just have mayonnaise and just eating mayonnaise?
It's been about 40 seconds. She's still awake. She's doing good. Okay, she made it longer this time. She made it about 50 seconds. Good job, Soji. I still think this is such a bad idea, the Borg Reclamation Project. Just blow it up.
Mm.
This is so dangerous. Also, it's kind of weird that they're doing the Picard has to wrestle with his Borgification plot again, because we already did that in First Contact. How many times do we have to deal with his trauma? Isn't he over it by now?
It was quote unquote dealt with in First Contact. It wasn't really the end of it.
So I was gonna say before, Patrick Stewart and Ian McClellan, they were members of the Royal Shakespeare Society.
Yes.
So they have the official, South of England pronunciation that you're supposed to have.
Well, they're both trained in the same place in terms of
Yeah.
acting, and it's a specific accent that gets taught there.
Idris Elba was also a member of the Royal Shakespeare Society, by the way. So if you want to know where he gets his
He doesn't.
acting chops
Idris
from.
Elba doesn't sound anything like him.
That's because Idris tends to do more
American,
American and more lower class acting.
yeah,
Rude.
a little bit, or the bad guy.
The
Like the
acts
bad
as a
guy.
You
lower
can't just
class
call Idris
character,
Elba lower class. Idris Elba's cool.
No, in
Leave him
The
alone.
Wire, he plays a Baltimore
Switch.
hood Black American, and that's the first time I saw Idris Elba.
Oh,
I did not
what?
know he was British English. He's a drug dealer from Baltimore, and I thought he was from
The
America.
character.
I had no
Oh
idea
wait,
the man was
Adventures of
British.
Flutter. She has an Adventures of Flutter lunchbox.
Oh my god!
People,
Yes.
I love the Flutter episodes, but when
do
I
we have
went
a
to look
Voyager
for-
reference?
No, we don't.
Yes, we have a Voyager reference.
Well, we don't have a Voyager reference counter. The I really like the Flutter episodes, but apparently people disagree. I don't get it. They're good episodes.
Yeah, they're really bad.
They're great.
No, they're amazing. I wanna play that adventure where the whole forest burns down. That was so good.
Maybe you
traumatize
liked them
the
because
child.
you were
years old.
age appropriate when they came out.
I didn't watch Star Trek until I was like 19. And it took me another 3 or 4 years
Just
to
like-
get to Voyager.
It's like 7 of 9 was age appropriate for us.
Yeah.
That's right.
These are all 3 years old.
37 months. Whoa.
Soji is 3 years old.
No, I do like
Narek's
this
a
because,
cradle robber.
The science of radiocarbon dating has done amazing things for our study of the world.
How do artificial life forms, how do you determine the age of consent for artificial life forms?
By not discussing it. Anyway, how about that Star Trek?
So radiocarbon
So
dating,
there's also an issue in Blade Runner, of course.
like we can tell that a manuscript is a forgery from the Middle Ages as opposed to being an actual 3rd century, 5th century manuscript. So it's so amazing that like radioactivity and the half-life of carbon-14. So anyway, it's kind of cool here how she figured out that all her childhood stuff is like a year old.
It's a
Year and a
long
half.
year.
Yeah.
Why would
Probable
they
age.
beam him into the extra spooky section? Nobody's there.
Probably age.
They put a lot of money into the
Picard's
show, that's
reunion
why.
with Hugh is so much better than what he did in First Contact.
Yeah. Thank you, chat.
I think
it
he
is,
would be vulnerable to a Tommy gun.
Like, yeah, we never see this in First Contact where he has to go back on the cube because the Enterprise is converted to. just
He
a
sort of
beam
does that
anyway.
when he goes to engineering at the
Yeah,
end.
Yeah. This
Oh
is
my
better.
god, this is so dangerous. The Romulans didn't install railings.
There are some around.
There's a
There was railings on
yeah.
the other side, but there
Not
wasn't
there.
railing on the bridge.
Can you imagine Romulan OSHA?
This handrail doesn't look loyal enough.
We were able to
We're gonna
determine
have to.
too much about your organizational structure.
Right, exactly. That's a safety nightmare. There is safety in concealment.
You've had 4 employees report the site. What are you doing wrong? Why are your employees reporting? Why do your employees feel comfortable reporting information to anyone?
Yeah.
Like Voyager gave us a lot of really good cube scenes. Like I think we saw a whole planet, like women and children getting assimilated or lined up to get assimilated.
Hugh, didn't you kind of hate them the last time you saw the Enterprise crew? You were real mad. It was when it was during descent, and he was like, "God, you people left me alone. You screwed over my whole life by sending me back to the Borg."
Yeah.
Even though
True.
it was his
Yeah,
choice, but he
he got
kind of
over
forgot
it.
about that.
And then Lore wound up. It was their fault, and indirectly too that Lore wound up. Because remember, Lore was from like the Crystalline Entity episode. It's the last time we saw him, way back in season 2 or 1. That was 1 actually. So this is like the International Space Station.
Okay, so
The
he
Borg cube.
specifically said he's a citizen of the Federation. That implies to me that he's human. Because the other XBs
There's a
are
lot
not
of
citizens.
non-humans.
Yeah.
What if he applied for citizenship and was granted citizenship
It's possible.
based
You know
on the
what?
fact that they tried to turn him into a bioweapon?
Maybe he was granted citizenship the moment he became unassimilated by the Federation, because they kind of.
Yeah,
No,
whatever
but
you
he
say,
must.
third of 5.
The Federation is more insidious than the Borg.
Why would you say that to Cisco of all people? No wonder Cisco tracked him down.
Cisco.
Yeah, when
By the way,
Eddington said that they're even worse than the Borg.
I thought it was Quark and Garrick that were talking about them being worse than the Borg.
No. That was for sure Eddington. He was on a
Quark
comm
and-
screen
Quark
right
and,
after the betrayal.
Garrick were talking about how, you know,
They did say the Federation's
the Federation
insidious, but they
assimilates
didn't
you with
liken them to the Borg.
happiness. I think they did.
You know, the lighting on the Borg cube is really beautiful. It's like
I mean, she
subtle.
did
But
just
yeah, I guess
essentially lie there.
Cisco
Nothing's
has some
older than
personal
3 years.
stakes.
It's all older
that,
than
doesn't
3
he?
years by 1 month, in fact.
Who are the children in those pictures?
Oh yeah, this was in Blade Runner 2049 because he thinks he's the child with the memory of the doll that he left behind the Nook. But it turns out it's the girl who's the memory programmer. Who's the
He thought he was the main character, but he's just an NPC.
Yeah.
He's just a quest NPC.
That's the thing though, like are each of those robots androids people? Like they kind of are because they have a will to like live. I don't know. We're gonna have to resolve a lot of ethical questions, and pretty soon, by the way. Are you humming, Soma?
No.
Are you humming, Robo?
Are you humming, ear of you?
I feel like it's coming in through the soundtrack, but I'm like, why would the bad guys be humming right now?
Is there a
Like
ghost
he's
in your
turning.
house? Does that sound like a
He's
spooky
turning-
child?
A little bit.
What species is that? A Cardassian? That is definitely not a Cardassian. I don't know what you are. Are you a human?
Possibly.
Their ears I can't see. Oh, that's a Vulcan Romulan.
Don't
ear.
Borg fundamentally change the DNA of the hosts, anyways? So like they just
Oh.
become Borg.
I don't know if that's true, but I just learned a line from Voyager season 4. The Borg put
Akuchimaya.
the children they assimilate into maturation chambers 3 times before they turn them into drones, fully functioning drones. So they're like doing, quick baking over here. Which explains the first appearance of the Borg, right? We had the babies in the crib.
Baby in the drawer.
And he
That's
also
where
had,
I
like,
keep
wi-
my babies. The drawer.
Gross.
They got wires coming out of them. Like the idea was the Borg like reproduce, like, and the children are born all mechanical. Which, by the way, I would sign up for a simulation if I could still procreate. That would be the only thing I'd miss, I don't mind being like a hive mind.
You
if
wouldn't
my
miss
brain
your
can,
free
like-
will? Or
Uh,
skin?
My brain would be dedicated to making life better for everyone else in the galaxy.
By
I don't need my
force, if
biological-
necessary.
I
Is
don't
it
need
an
my
Irish coffee?
biological- I don't need my biological and technological distinctiveness.
Quark and Garrick were comparing the Federation that root beer. Eddington said the Federation is worse than the Borg because at least the Borg tell you you're being assimilated.
Yeah.
Why does the
Borg.
text to speech keep saying Borg?
It's
Borg.
trying its best.
Maybe try
What
putting an H
word
on the
ends in a
end.
in a soft G though?
Try putting an H on the end. Someone in chat try saying BORGH.
You try saying BORGH.
Well, I don't want to go into chat and I need
I
to.
like
I need to
that.
log into a different.
The boyfriend here was kind of charming, but now he's definitely creepy. He's doing a lot of Theon vibes.
God,
From,
it even
Game of
sounds like Elvish.
Yeah.
Oh man, Theon. People told me I look like Theon Greyjoy, which made that show very difficult to watch.
Well, do you? Were
Yeah,
they
it's
right?
got a point. I do kind of look like. Yeah, I do kind of look like what's his name? Also, the bad guy in the first John Wick.
Sorry. I didn't mean to call you that.
I have his eyes.
But I gotta say something I love about the show. They married like mysticism to the whole Romulan technophobia thing. It's kind of cool.
Murdery? No, murdery.
I think
He's
like
not gonna murder her yet.
He's gonna try. Yes, he is.
I thought he was gonna shoot her back when she
yeah.
was fainting. Yeah.
He's not going to murder her efficiently, though. He could have tried harder.
I think he needs her to do this thing, this mystical thing for a sec.
Yeah. You do that, and then you pull out a disruptor and just destroy her.
I want to say this is an amazing room. I feel like we never see a room quite like this in Star Trek. They did an amazing job. I kind of fell in love with the production and set design. Even I was noticing about the Borg cube earlier, it has the most subtle shades of blue and green. It really, like, you never get that spacious of a Borg cube in the other shows and movies. Like in First Contact 2, the Borg cube Enterprise was really cramped. Like both sides of the corridors were filled with rows of drones. Oh, I was also gonna say when Seven shoots Icheb, that is a parallel to Picard shooting the crew member.
Maybe.
But Picard was
Picard
portrayed
was
as being
much more
wrong.
cold, disconnected.
Right. I mean, Picard may have been wrong, but the idea is like you got to do what you got to do. You know, someone's gonna turn into a zombie. You may as
A
well.
man's gotta do what a man's gotta do before you can call him a man.
No, stop it.
This scene is too much, though. Like
Borg.
the kid with the in the lab.
The GH worked. It said Borg.
Did it? The GH worked?
Yeah, it just said Borg.
Berg.
There you go.
That's weird.
See? You gotta think like a phonetic AI voice.
But
text,
I would
text to
think
voice.
if I were to think like one, I would think every letter and every word ending in a hard G. Like, if it can't figure that out, it's kind of useless. And GH is actually like more.
Yeah,
ambiguous.
GH is clearly
It's like
science, like
enough,
bow.
Enough. Borg. Anyway.
You know,
Maybe
no one
we
can
should
figure out whether
just
a name
switch to
ending
a less
in
trash
GH.
language.
Yeah.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ja, ein bisschen. Was gibt's?
Das ist good.
That is not the proper response to my question.
What was your question?
I said, what's up? I said, yeah, little, what's up?
Just a second.
Nein, du kannst, nein. Schlecht.
There was like I saw
Sehr
a Golf GTI and his license plate was Schnell 3, so it's Schnell. And I was like, oh, that's kind of clever, but also, you know, a little off-putting. Nichville. There you go.
What?
Nichville? Nich.
Could you spell it for me? What are you trying to say?
Nichtvia.
N-I-C-H-T, it means
Not much.
Oh, feel.
Feel. Nichville. Feel.
V-I-E-L, or is it E-I? But
I-E-L.
I-E-L, yeah. Feel. Why are you humming now? Are you just trying to mess with your review?
No. What? Me? Mess with ear review?
I can see your
Never.
thing lighting up.
What? It must be an error.
Yes, going back to German. So in German, the W is a V and the V is an F. So because it's V-I-E-L, it's feel. They also get an extra, well, they have several extra letters. But they, most of the extra letters are just the same letters with the dots, but they also have the S set, which is a cool extra letter. That doesn't look anything like Brent Spiner. Who's this guy? Pinocchio. Two moons. Okay, that doesn't
He's
actually
trying to
narrow
find
it
the
down
location
at
of
all.
the colony.
A planet with two moons. Okay.
Two moons circle. Two moons circle.
A planet with
You've outlived
electrical
your
storms. That's called
usefulness.
lightning, man. It happens everywhere. No shot does this narrow it down to one star system.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the murder kiss for sure.
Wouldn't she go crazy right now and like lacerate him?
She's still not blaming him yet. She thinks he's still on her side.
Wait. What was that?
It's a little bomb. Come on, Soji, you can smash it. You're made of duranium. Come on.
She doesn't know.
It's a little bit like the Thaleron device, the little bomb thing from the start of Nemesis.
Nemesis.
Does it work on her though? Because she's made of metal.
What is the red mist?
It's red and therefore bad.
I feel like it is the thing.
But the one in Nemesis was green and therefore bad. Which one is good?
Just one choose through.
None of them.
Blue is
All
often pretty
gas
good.
is
She's
bad.
activated. All gas is bad. What about
all gas?
What about oxygen? What about life-giving oxygen?
If it's visible, it's pretty bad usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Although blue gas often means someone's getting high,
Blue gas?
like blue sparkly. That,
Blue
that's
gas
what
means
they
you've got a
call it,
coolant leak in the engine
Purple.
core. Jordy's going to need 3 minutes to shut it down.
Purple
Right.
gas means Snoop Dogg has been sighted in the area.
Meh.
Purple haze.
See, Narek, you could have used a gun.
That's
Oh,
a
hey,
thing
Soji, what's
that,
up?
like, a drone calling Picard the cutest.
Well, I don't know if you're really going to be very helpful, Jean-Luc, because you lost one already. 1-to-1 failure rate.
You don't even have your own ship. You're not authorized by Starfleet Command. I don't think you're much of a help to anybody.
Very
Wasn't the
convenient
hardest
that he's here to
thing
rescue her,
by
though, at the
Romulan.
exact right moment. What if he slept in this morning?
What were you saying, Thomas?
It's better than just being straight up killed by Romulans.
If you're gonna get killed by somebody, yeah.
Hasn't
So-
he been? I thought the Queen took him in and... I thought he was like Prince Borg.
Yeah, he was queen consort. Queen consort.
He was never in
Well,
the cell.
King consort.
Or no,
but
king
yes.
king consort. Yes,
Yeah.
king consort.
Prince
He
Philip.
was the queen's
Prince.
consort.
The boy toy, if you will.
Yeah.
The boy toy.
Oh,
Well,
the
you know what?
trajector, that's a Voyager thing.
Yep.
And the Sakarans were notably not assimilated by that point, so I guess they got screwed over in the meantime.
And it required their planet for it to work. It required the crystal that their planet was made out of.
Well, Borg figured it out.
Leave it to the Borg.
Their range was
4,000 Or the Borg.
They have adapted.
And to Riker next week.
Commander Frakes.
Oh, wow, go Elnor.
Okay, Elnor, now you can pick up one
Picard?
of their guns.
Season 1 to 3.
Pick up all of the Romulan guns. Put away the sword.
So, I was looking for a new ringtone for my phone, and I was looking up random like game music for online, open source. So I found one that was like Artifact Room, and it sounds just like the music. I think like later when we step into this room, but this is literally the Artifact Room.
Well, it is a room on the artifact, so yeah.
For a long time, my ringtone was Metal Gear Solid 2 theme, and then after that, I had the Matt Smith Doctor Who I Am the Doctor theme. What else did I have?
So he's doing the hopeless cause thing. I mean, I like it as a plot device, just like the rational part of me is though. What were you saying?
Amazing that TNG is still probably the best Star Trek, but Picard is together with Disco the worst. Crazy how they could achieve that.
I mean, it's not that hard.
Wow, that's quite an opinion. So
Pretty different show.
Yeah, I was also gonna say about the Elnor thing. The part of me that believes in evolution is like, how does that?
What do you
The
mean
part of you that believes in evolution?
That's a very concerning way to open that sentence.
Yeah.
No, I guess like I like the idea that
That implies that there's a part of you that doesn't believe in evolution.
I guess that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying is though, evolutionary wise, right? You can't have an organization built on hopeless causes because there's no way you would survive throughout the centuries. So
your organization's not going to survive if people do heroic suicides like Elnor just did. Just leave. You're at a trajectory. Just leave.
Yeah.
It's
but I like the plot.
Elnor.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Chad.
All right. So next week on Star Trek Picard, we're gonna hang out with Riker, and then we're gonna Broken Pieces, which I don't really remember. What happens there? I don't know.
They have a side quest they need to do.
And then Et in Arcadia Ego, which we're back to the Latin. Fine. So we're gonna go to the Brent Spiner planet and get really sad. And that'll be it. And then I'll be good. We're not going to do the finale next week because that'll be the week after. It should be good though. Okay, go away. We're done.
If you want to hear about the other story I had, I guess hang around. Unless no one wants to hear it. I'll just